Hey, my name's James Nicholson and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about rents. Rents have risen at the fastest rate on record ever. I'm going to talk about what the average rents are in London and the rest of the UK. What's fueling these rental increases? It might not be what you expect, and much, much more. So before we jump into this, as always, make sure if you haven't done already, do subscribe to the channel over there and hit the bell notification. We just hit 22,000 subscribers. Thanks to everyone that watches. And while you're here, smash the like button, tickle the like button, do something to that like button, because that really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. It gets more views on the content, and it's just a great thing to do. So go and do that right now. So rents have gone up, and rents have gone up at record pace at the moment, which is not good. It's not good for tenants, and it doesn't necessarily mean landlords are making more money because their mortgages have gone up significantly. Now, I know when I talk about rent, the comments are quite different to some of my normal videos. There's a lot of landlord bashing and stuff like that. But actually, what's happening is a lot of landlords are leaving the market, and that's another reason why rents are increasing at a rapid rate. So what's going on? Well, the Bank of England obviously increased interest rates 14 times. That has an impact on landlords. And landlords get hit harder with interest rate rises because they pay interest only. So if they go from 1% to 2%, their payment doubles. If they go from 1% to 4 or 5%, then their payment goes up 4 or 5 times, which means that they're likely to not be making much money. So rents are going up on an annual basis, on average, 9.2% up, which is crazy when you think about it. Now, this is included in inflation data. And so what the Bank of England's doing is creating a vicious cycle. You're pushing the interest rates up on one side. That's just getting passed on to the tenants. That means inflation, the figures are higher on inflation because of rent. And if you think about it like this, if someone puts your rent up by 9%, that's significantly going to hit you harder than maybe your weekly shop does, or maybe some other things that you have had inflation rises on in the recent weeks and months. And so this is a vicious cycle that we're in now. And what's happened is because interest rates have gone up, a number of landlords have left the market. In fact, they're leaving for various reasons. They're leaving because it's less tax efficient. They're leaving because maybe they're not making any money in this current market at all. And so they're selling their properties, and that's good because that gets more stock to the residential market, but it means the rental market is shrinking. And with immigration, with longer lives and all this stuff, we actually need more rental stock in this country. That's what's going to drive down rents, is competition. And so this is the biggest increase in annual rents. And so since 2015, that's when records began. Biggest since 2015. That's crazy to think of that. Nearly 10 years. We've had all these different things going on in the last few years. And now is where we're seeing the record increase in rent. Now in London, it's worse than anywhere else. So if you live in London, the average rent now is £2,000, probably for a flat. And that's up way more than the average. The London rent is up 11.2%. I mean, that means you've got to take home £24,000 after tax money just to be able to get a property in London, which is crazy. And they're not particularly big either, are they? And so this is something that needs to be addressed, right? And so in my opinion, what needs to happen is we need to get competitive. We need to build more properties. We need to have something to support landlords and give them an incentive to carry on. Stop them leaving the market, because then when you get more properties on the market, you build more properties, then you'll get competition. That will drive rents down, or at least stop them going up at the crazy rate that they have been in the last year or so. What also is going on in the UK, so the average rent on the whole of the UK is really high as well, and that is £1,200. That's a huge chunk of someone's take-home pay. So you're saying here, London rents have gone up nearly £200, and the rest of the UK have gone up over £100 per month. And that's driven through interest rates. So the main reasons that these are going up, and they're going to continue to go up, is high interest rates. Some landlords have just had to put this up, right? They have no choice. If their monthly payment went from 200 quid to 800 quid, and you're only paying £600 in rent, then they're going to have to increase that rent to make sure that they're not going to lose money. Also, they've got to have insurance, they've got to have tax that they've got to pay on that, they've got to do maintenance on the property, and all of these things as well. And so that is a big thing. The interest rates, they're just getting passed on to the tenants, which is not good. The other thing is landlords are leaving, right? And so because of interest rates, and because of particularly something called Section 24. And Section 24 is where a landlord gets taxed on the gross amount of rent. So if a landlord gets £1,000 in rent, they pay tax on all of that. Might sound normal to you, and you think, yeah, of course they should. Well, if you're a business, you actually deduct your expenses, and then you pay tax on your profit. So if you're a marketing agency or a shop like Tesco's, for example, they don't pay much tax, but they would pay tax on their profits. Or a corner shop, they would get the turnover, so they do £1,000 in sales in a day. They would deduct the cost of the goods, and then they would pay tax on the profit, which might be tax on 200 or 300 quid rather than the 1,000. By charging landlords on the gross amount, it's the only business that does this in the UK. That means that some of them, if they're on a higher rate tax earning, might be negative. They might be losing money each month. That's why they're selling in record numbers, and that's continuing to push rents up, which is not great for anyone. So rents, they're on the rise. They're going to keep going up until interest rates come down. Even as interest rates come down, I don't think you'll see a deduction in rent or cheaper rent. What I would say is the main thing that is going to actually help bring rents down is more properties. We need more properties in the UK. We don't have enough. When we get that built in certain areas, that will take the pressure off. That will mean it's a competitive market, meaning people might have to drop their rent or at least not increase it for some time to come. Let me know your thoughts on the rent below. Have you had a rental increase? Maybe you're someone that watches this, or maybe you're a landlord that's had to pass on rental increases to your tenants. Do comment below your thoughts and opinion. Do smash the like button, subscribe, go and check out some more content on my channel, including this video right here.